folks, welcome back. It's time for one of my favorite segments, TNT Say What? So, Say What was a lot of people's reactions when they first heard Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's new song, WAP. I can't actually tell you what WAP stands for because it's not safe for work. Go and Google it, please. But this new anthem from these two women brought out an age-old debate over female sexuality because with WAP, Cardi and Megan are reversing gender roles. They are owning their sexuality, and I mean they are owning their sexuality in a way we typically see a lot of men do. For some reason, when it's women speaking raunchy, dirty, down and dirty sexual lyrics, people tend to get their back up. There are a lot of issues. One was about the sexuality for sure. And, you know, there are all sorts of people. There are people like CeeLo Green saying it's disrespectful. There are a lot of different black music websites and Instagram accounts saying this is like, it's way too much. It's too raunchy. They have no class. And then the other big issue was that Kylie Jenner, I got the right Kardashian there, right, T? It's Kylie, the youngest one?
Yes, it's Kylie. Yes, you're right.
I get them confused, man. Okay, so the youngest one, she's in the video, and people were not happy about that to the point where they actually started a petition. I think there's like 70,000 signatures on this petition to try and get Kylie Jenner taken out of the video. People have issues with her. T, I'm going to let you start by talking about what your feelings are about WAP.
Okay, so I have a few feelings here. I listen, I understand why some people are upset about it when they say things like, it's cheap and it's tawdry, it's all those things, because a lot of the times women use sex to get ahead, and it's kind of an old trick, and sometimes people are just tired of women leading with that and maybe lead with something like skill and all of that. So I understand that argument, but what I have a problem with is that you're never calling out men for these exact same things. So that's my issue with it. I have a problem if you're calling them out because they're females doing it. If you're going to call out people for being explicit and not leading with skill and all those things, then call out the men who are doing it too, because some of the rappers that we consider icons, they have very explicit songs in their past, and people just kind of overlook that and excuse it, and that's kind of been going on since the beginning of time. Even if you go back to like Salt and Pepper, when they were doing Let's Talk About Sex, like that was a big deal. Or TLC, when they came up with some of their songs, people were like, ooh, women talking about sex. That's when I have a problem with it. If you have a problem with it in general, that's one thing. I kind of ride with you because I don't really like when people push sex to kind of get ahead as opposed to their skill. But don't just do it to women, because that's not okay, because that's just saying that women shouldn't own their sexuality. Women shouldn't feel sexual feelings. Women are supposed to just be quiet about things like that. I mean, who do they think these men are having sex with? That's the thing that I don't understand. So one person gets to talk about it and not the other. I have a problem with that. And another thing about it is, Megan Thee Stallion and Kylie, as well as Cardi B, they're kind of known for pushing sex anyways, and sexuality, and being really overly sexual in the way they dress and everything else. So I don't get why we're looking at them to be role models anyways. They're kind of just doing what they always do, which is sell sex. So I watched the video and I didn't get the controversy. I just saw it and I was like, okay, well, this is what guys do all the time. Like, it didn't really bother me at all.
I thought back to some of the songs that we used to listen to when we were in high school or in the 90s, and they were sexually explicit. Because part of it is, I agree with you, stop having a double standard. If people want to talk about sex, whether they're men or women, like, if you're going to be judging, you better be judging equally, and don't do it based on gender. Yeah. But there's a whole other group of people, and I guess they're just called quote unquote old people, and I might be starting to get into that category that just heard the lyrics and were like, oh my gosh, the things they're saying. And then I had to take a moment and think back to some songs that are on my playlist still from the 90s that are incredibly raunchy, the music I would not let my kids listen to. And so They're in their 20s. These are artists that are in their 20s, all of them. They're exploring, they're free, they're liberated. They are having agency over that part of their lives. And I think they need to be able to do that without being judged. So there are actually articles being written right now about how sexually explicit lyrics there's something powerful with having those lyrics come out of the mouths of women versus men. I'd rather hear them from women than hear them from men. I mean, they are taking agency over their own lives. What do you think of the whole Kylie thing? Do you care that she's in the video, T?
I don't really care. I honestly, I don't care for all three of them, to be honest. So I'm not, if I'm being honest, I don't really care about Kylie or Cardi B. I'm not really a fan of hers either, or Meg Thee Stallion. I don't feel one way or the other about Meg Thee Stallion. So I'm not a huge fan of any of them. So Kylie, that whole thing doesn't bother me. I think more Kylie is people are really huge Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion fans, and I think they have an issue with, they think that Kylie is more of a culture vulture and she doesn't belong in the video, and that she kind of came across as maybe like a madam in the video. Like, I think that was it was like a more of a racial thing. I don't really, like I said, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with any of the video. I kind of was just kind of like, what's the problem here? Like, I watched it and I'm like, so I'm not old yet. I'm not in that category yet. I used to think that I am, but I don't think I'm there yet because I wasn't shocked or stunned at any of it.
You're not there yet at all. You stay in your young people category, T. I wish I could go backwards and meet you there.
I'm still young.
It's too late.